October 9th?
It is.
Or 10th?
October 9th. Me and Luke are going up in a spot I found on the maps, and got a perfect wind, and stuff's in our advantage. I seen some deer up in here last week, and just hoping to put something down with them this week. So
Got all kinds of acorns dropping on the road. So I know there's a ton of fresh acorns dropping in here. There should be some deer. And we just climbed up off the road here and followed a beat down deer path where they're crossing the dirt road. So we're definitely pretty close to them already. I think they're liking these acorns this year. There's a ton of them. I know about every oak tree's dropping them. Alright, we'll get off out these sticker bushes. Got a big old mature oak there. A big old mature oak over here. And all kinds of little in between, and looks like some cherry trees too. You know, spray some of this buck pee on it.
yeah, you can. That's what I'd seen.
I want this hill to get up on top of this little bench. Alright guys, it's a little after 4:30. We're up in this tree. We've been in here. Probably settled in for about a half hour now. Took us a second because I dropped the nut off of my camera arm and had to go get it. Tyler had to help me get back up to the platform. But Tyler brought us up here to this big oak flat that drops down into this big ravine where we got a big pond and some drainage off to our left. And this is kind of like a little bench in between what looks to be some bedding up here off the top of this ridge. But this whole flat is nothing but mature oaks, and it's just absolutely raining down acorn. Tyler had hunted this spot before in a little bit of a different area, and he said that he saw some deer, and he brought me back up here near today, and I want to see if I can't get something on film for him. Tyler just got himself a saddle, so he's starting to get used to that, and we're all set up here. I'll flip the camera around and give you guys a little eye on how our setup looks. It's October 9th, so we're not too worried about the bucks cruising or anything like that. It's just mainly hunting this food source that's really close to some water and some bedding. It's been a drought
Friday, October 11th, 5 o'clock. Me and Logan just got set up out here. We're kind of basically up against a plotted field. They just farmed. Got a pretty good wind in here. It's kind of coming in from the west-southwest, so pushing this way. Logan made some scrapes up behind me here, and really already have had a couple deer on us. Just hoping something just slips in this way behind us, or vice versa the other way, and we just pick it off. But just hoping just something happens, and yeah, Logan found this spot and just trying to execute. So
there's a good little 9-point in here. He's probably like 120 inches, maybe 130. He's pretty thick, honestly, more than anything. His rack was real tight together, but he had tines going all over the place, every direction. We're sitting right on the edge of private, but we are on public land. Yeah, we're taking advantage of this bean field that's over here on the private. You can see this little boundary right here. But yeah, there's some cut beans that they just cut. Spooked 2 deer on the way in here. Then we had 2 come in on us when we were setting up, so we're definitely in the juice. It's October 12th. I'm out here on this public land spot. This is a new spot, but it's like a newer spot. A spot that I hunt already. Basically, I'm on the outer edge of this little bedding thicket. It's kind of right on the edge of a swamp. I know the water in the swamp, it's like sulfur water, so I know they're not using it for a water source or anything like that, but they're definitely using it for bedding. So I can hear something back in here moving around. But I got in here pretty clean. I set up fairly quickly, and I even put up a camera and a mock scraper over here to check this out when I go to leave. The spot's basically right on the outer edge of this little thicket. I'm not even sure what these little trees are. It looks like little poplar trees or something like that, but there's a whole bunch of little saplings where they clear cut it and everything's just growing back up. But basically this is right where these patch of hardwoods kind of separate everything, and everything starts to open up in here. So I know they're back in this little thicket bedded, especially up against that swamp, because I've spooked them out of that swamp before on the other end of this thicket. But the wind's absolutely perfect. It's hitting me in the face. I got a bunch of clear lanes. I want to flip the camera around and show you guys the spot here in a moment. But yeah, we're going to hang out here till dark and see what's up. I'm just kind of goofing off today and trying this new spot out. Me and my cousin Tyler have been hitting a couple different spots that he's been checking out. Saw a couple of deer yesterday. We didn't see anything while we were in the tree, but we saw 4 deer while we were on the way to set up and while we were setting up. But yeah, I want to hang out here. Might dip out early just to catch the Buckeye game. Got my OSU hat on, go Bucks. But I think I'm gonna hang out till dark and just kind of leave his stuff hanging, because I think I might come out later on this week, probably in the evening, probably maybe tomorrow evening after church. But I want to leave my stuff hanging and see what's up. Something's telling me to give this spot a good look. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, I'm gonna flip this camera around and show you guys the spot now. Alright, so I came down in off of this ridge behind me a little bit, and it leads up to this big flat that leads to the access road. What I'm thinking is this ridge line runs both ways, and it drops down into these little bedding points. And this one just so happens to have a bunch of these little saplings, like from this point on. It's nothing but those saplings, as you can see out in front of me. I'll zoom in here. As you can tell, all those wee little trees, I can't really get back in there. So I'm guessing these deer are bedded back in there. But the rest of the spot is just some open hardwoods, and it's like a 40-yard patch. Over here is where all these little saplings start. It's basically like a transition line. You can basically see where these hardwoods, it's just like a little patch of them. I saw some acorns on the ground, but I don't know where the oak trees are, because everything around me I'm seeing is maples. There might be an oak tree in here somewhere, but I ain't seeing it. But these deer definitely travel through here. It's very clear and open, so I know they travel through that little transition line. Hoping I'm not out of the game being right here, but we'll see what's up. I got a mock scrape down there and a camera hanging. We'll see what's hanging out in this little bedding area. If nothing pops up in a couple days, I'll come back in here and grab this stuff, but it's worth a shot. I never have hunted this area, so I want to see what's back in here. As you can tell, we got another giant oak tree here. This one's been here for a while, but it seems like all along here we have a ton of oak trees up here on top. There's a deer right here. You guys can see this, but it is tore up. There's all kinds of tracks down in this little creek bottom. And it's all from deer. I'm gonna kill one in this spot. I have a good feeling. Alright, y'all. I came in off of this little oak flat. Comes all the way down into this little patch. I don't know if you can see the little path I crossed to get in here. But there's this little stagnant water pond. And right here, this is a big old bed. And look over here, we got a nice fresh rub. There's all kinds of sign back in here. We're just trying to find a good one. So back in here, behind this pond, back behind all this little oak flat out in this field. We're getting into some good sign here. That's a historical rub. There's historical rubs all the way down through here. And it's coming in off of this pasture field. So I'm not sure if I want to go deeper in there or hang around here. I might go deeper in there and then scout this on my way back. Because this is basically on my way back. I just got here. I'm already finding all this good sign. But it does seem like it's a little behind. I could see a rub, a fresh rub way over there. But this little spot is absolutely gnarly. This is the best looking spot that I've had in a long time. Alright, y'all. Back in here by this pond. Back here is that oak flat where I come in off of, where all that fresh sign was. Well, somewhat fresh sign. It looks like I should have come in on the other side of all these briars. But we're gonna push our way in here. Cause it looks like there's a nice rub back in here. And if that's the case, there's all kinds of fresh poop. Looks like a coyote turd right there. Oh yeah. They're coming down in here. Right here's the bed. Definitely a bed. Look back here behind it. Very, very, very fresh rub. That is the freshest rub that I've found this year so far. There's definitely some deer around this little pond. And it stinks. Deer stage up. I think they kind of sit along this little valley here. Down in there is where that oak flat was, and it's all tore up. So I might have to get a little bit deeper back in here to find the closest spot to hunt these deer. But this looks really good up in here. It's clear about the tippy top of this hill. And as you can see for miles up here. You can see basically everything you need to see if he was a deer. Should be a pretty good spot. Just going to keep pushing as far as I can. And it's following right along this path where that doe was. So I think these deer kind of stay along this ridge top. I mean, it looks like beds all up and down this tall grass. deer or any buck sign yet, but it's looking good. Alright, here's another spot where you can see for miles. And it looks like they just put a pipeline in here not too long ago. And the grass is starting to grow back up, but I can almost guarantee you these deer are using this as a little travel way. And the wind's hit me right in the face where I'm at. But that doesn't mean much because that valley where I was finding all the sign is back behind me. So I'm not sure if they're coming up on this ridge top yet, or if they're just strictly bedding down by that water. We're going to poke around back in here and see if I can't find some more fresh sign. But as of right now, everything was looking pretty good for this spot. Out in the middle of this field here. It's going back towards where I come from, but I'm not sure if they're taking this. Looks like an old path here. They could be up in these little trees, or they could be coming down on this hill. So, only one way to find out. Keep on walking. Alright, I come up on this knob, and I just seeing that rub down here, still in the same spot. I saw this little trail cut off of this clear cut path. This is sure enough some bedding. There's no bucks on it around it yet. We're going to continue to walk up in here, see if I can't find some rubs, potentially jump the buck up. We'll see. Just sitting here. This deer may be blind. Wow. I can't believe that. Alright guys, so I come down in off of this ridge. I jumped up like 4 stinking deer on the way in here. They're all does, but they're all up here on this big path that they cleared out and clear cut probably within a year. I think they was doing it last year, but as I got down in here, this is an example of a saddle. So we got these two hills that come in right here, and this little middle section is probably 50-yard stretch maybe. Probably not even, but it kind of folds over this little ridge that runs this way. So this is probably going to be a major crossing point, and as you can tell, it is stinking thick off of that path. That deer is bedded up underneath of that little limb over here. Took off running straight down over this hill, and right here I can see where she come through and took off down over the hill. You can just see how big of an opening that is. So I would almost guess that they're using this crossing about every day. So I don't know if they're coming up from that bottom or if they're just bedding up here on this stinking ridge, which I hope they're not bedding on this path, but it's very possible. Every deer that I've saw today, it acted like it's never saw a human before in their life. So I know it's a pretty good area. It looks like there's not much human traffic back here other than where they clear cut this pipeline. But you can just see a beat down path all the way down through here along this edge. We're going to keep on digging. How about that view? Thank you, Lord, for all of this. Thank you for creating this. Thank you for allowing me to enjoy it. Thank you for instilling the sport of whitetail deer hunting in my heart. I don't know what I'd do without this, Lord. Just wanted you to know that I love you. Alright, since I'm way back in here, I'm going to go ahead and check this spot down here by this creek bottom. See how much they're moving down through here, which I'm sure it's a ton, honestly. Looks like we got some hardwoods way back up in there. So we're not too far from some oak trees, I'm sure. And we got tons of stinking bedding. I mean, look at all this. Look how thick it is out here. I just heard something get up and all this thick stuff. There's this like little cubby back in there. I'd almost bet there's a big buck bedding in that crap. But there ain't no way I'm getting in there. Well, we're coming down to this creek bottom, and sure enough, there's a rub. I don't know if he's going this way. I'm sure he's just dipping down in here and headed back up this way, because there's another power line that runs that way. But these deer get on these power lines and they're basically like a freeway for them. They can get to where they're going pretty darn fast. Acorns dropping. Where are we at today, Todd? What? Finally up in the tree. We had a heck of a time getting up here. Tyler realized his stinking thing's missing. We don't know where it's at, but he's tethered in. He's safe. Yep. We got all the way up in this dang tree. We found the trail camera. I caught this up in this tree, and Tyler says, "Look over there. There's a stinking stand with some sticks hanging in the tree. It's a freaking circus." But there are scrapes everywhere. And I got a good feeling about tonight. They should be working this little edge here.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of River Rat Bassin'. Today is October 25th and we're getting into this little cold front here that's coming in on the end of October, so we gotta be in the woods. This morning I had two different bucks hitting this mock scrape back here on the edge of this doe bedding area that's right alongside some water and some acorns, so it's a good chance we're going to see a buck tonight. I got my cousin Tyler with me, he's running camera for me at the moment. We're going to hop up in this tree in our saddles and see what happens tonight. Like I said, had several different bucks hitting this scrape, so I think they're up moving around and checking these areas to see if there's a hot doe. So